Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Dream Room. A beautiful backyard does not begin with expensive furniture. It begins by solving one small problem well. Maybe your patio feels exposed. Perhaps one corner stays muddy after every rain. Maybe you have a blank fence, several mismatched pots, an old picture frame, a basket, a few leftover boards, or branches you have been saving because they still seem useful. If that sounds like you, this video was made for your home. You may live in a small house, an apartment with a balcony, or a modest suburban property with a narrow backyard. You may enjoy decorating, organizing, and creating peaceful spaces, but you do not want heavy construction, complicated tools, or projects that take several weekends to finish. You want ideas that are practical, affordable, beautiful enough to notice, but simple enough to begin today. In this video, I will show you 8 backyard DIY projects designed for real spaces and real budgets. Most can be adapted to areas as small as 6 by 8 feet, and many use natural or familiar materials such as branches, stones, terracotta, old frames, wire baskets, and reclaimed wood. We will create more privacy, better lighting, smarter storage, safer pathways, and stronger visual focal points. Each project will solve a problem while making the garden feel warmer and more personal. And stay with me until Project 7, because that idea can turn an ugly, muddy strip beside a shed or downspout into a feature that looks professionally landscaped. Let us begin with one of the most useful improvements for any small outdoor space: a movable privacy screen made from woven branches. Before we start, subscribe to Dream Room and turn on notifications for more simple decorating, organizing, and garden ideas created for small homes, natural materials, and modest budgets. Charn. Build a movable woven branch privacy screen. The fastest way to make a small backyard feel calmer is to block one direct sight line, not the entire garden. Stand where you normally sit and look toward the neighbor's window, shared walkway, or busy street. That narrow view is the area your screen needs to cover. In many patios, a panel about 3 feet wide and 5 to 6 feet tall is enough to create privacy without making the space feel closed. Build a lightweight rectangular frame from reclaimed wood or simple garden stakes. Then weave flexible willow, grapevine, bamboo strips, or freshly pruned branches over and under the supports. Do not worry about making every line perfect. Slight bends, knots, and changes in color give the screen the natural character that plastic fencing cannot copy. For a renter-friendly version, secure both sides inside 2 large planters filled with gravel at the bottom and soil above. The planters add stability while giving you room for herbs, trailing flowers, or a compact climbing vine. This design is movable, which matters in a small yard. Shift it toward the western sun in summer. Place it behind a dining chair when guests visit, or use it to hide recycling bins and garden tools. If bending or lifting is uncomfortable, complete the weaving while seated at a table and ask for help when raising the finished frame. Add one warm solar lantern near eye level. Suddenly, an exposed chair becomes a private morning coffee corner, and the backyard begins to feel like a real outdoor room. Transform an old frame into living garden art. A blank fence can make even a carefully arranged garden feel narrow and unfinished. Instead of buying expensive outdoor artwork, turn an old picture frame into a living display that uses almost no floor space. Choose a deep wooden frame and remove the glass. Attach lightweight backing, landscape fabric, and wire mesh to create a shallow planting pocket. Fill it with a small amount of suitable potting mix, pressing the soil firmly so it stays in place when the frame is raised. For a sunny wall, use compact succulents. Their slow growth, shallow roots, and varied shapes make them ideal for this project. In a shaded, covered area, preserved moss can create a softer green surface. Near an outdoor cooking space, small herbs can turn the frame into both decoration and a practical mini garden. Do not arrange the plants randomly. Use color and texture to create a clear design. Green and silver varieties produce a calm, elegant look, while red, gold, and lime green plants create stronger contrast. Mix rosette shapes with a few trailing plants to add depth. After planting, leave the frame lying flat for 2 to 3 weeks so the roots can establish. Then hang it on a strong removable hook. This also allows you to take it down easily for watering, trimming, or replacing a plant. One large frame can become a focal point, but 2 or 3 smaller frames often work better in a narrow yard. Together, they transform a plain fence into an outdoor gallery that feels personal, colorful, and alive. Sir, make lightweight faux stone garden troughs. Old stone planters give a garden instant character, but they are often expensive, heavy, and difficult to move. A hypertufa-style trough creates the same weathered appearance in a lighter form that works well on patios, balconies, and small backyard corners. Use a cardboard box, plastic bowl, food container, or shallow storage bin as your mold. Shape the mixture inside it, keeping the walls thick enough to remain strong, but the overall size manageable. Do not aim for a perfectly smooth finish. Rounded corners, shallow marks, and uneven texture help the planter look naturally aged rather than newly manufactured. Form several drainage holes before the material begins to harden, then allow the trough to cure completely before planting. Choose compact plants that match its quiet, stone-like appearance. Creeping thyme can soften the edges. Sedum adds sculptural shapes. Miniature grasses bring gentle movement, while alpine flowers or small herbs provide seasonal color. Instead of making one large container that becomes difficult to lift, create 3 smaller troughs at different heights. Arrange them beside a bench, near a doorway, at the end of a path, or against a plain fence. This layered grouping creates a stronger focal point and makes a narrow space feel thoughtfully designed. Over time, rain, moss, and natural staining will soften the surface. The planter will not look worn out. It will look established, as though it has belonged in the garden for many years. Saw. Create a cascading terracotta spilled garden. A cracked terracotta pot does not have to become waste. Placed carefully, it can become the starting point of a small flower display that brings movement and color to an otherwise flat garden bed. Choose a chipped or weathered pot and place it partly on its side, with the opening facing toward the area you want to decorate. Use small stones or a narrow layer of soil to outline a gentle curve flowing away from the pot. This simple step keeps the design clear and creates the appearance that flowers are spilling naturally across the ground. Fill the curved area with low-growing plants. Creeping thyme creates a soft green carpet. Sweet alyssum adds small clouds of white flowers, while sedum provides texture and tolerates dry conditions. Lobelia offers stronger color, and miniature marigolds bring a cheerful seasonal accent. For a patio or balcony, build the entire arrangement inside a wide tray or shallow container. This keeps the project portable and allows people with limited outdoor space to enjoy the same effect. Add a few natural details around the plants, such as bark pieces, pine cones, moss-covered stones, gravel, or one small section of driftwood. Keep these accents simple so the flowing shape remains easy to see. This project can also hide an unattractive bed edge, a thin patch of soil, the base of a fence post, or a visible irrigation line. What once looked like a damaged pot now becomes the feature that draws the eye first. Its imperfection is no longer a problem. It becomes the reason the arrangement feels personal, relaxed, and completely at home in the garden. 5. Add solar-lit basket lantern towers. Solar pathway lights are useful, but a straight row of identical lights can make a small garden feel ordinary. A more attractive solution is to hide the light inside a textured basket and turn it into a decorative feature. Use sturdy wire storage baskets, old plant guards, mesh cylinders, or small gabion-style frames. Fill them loosely with materials that allow light to pass through, such as river stones, frosted glass jars, shells, pine cones, smooth branches, or weather-safe colored glass. Before completing the filling, place a solar light inside or beneath each basket. The light should glow through the materials rather than shine directly into your eyes. This creates a softer effect and allows the texture of the basket to remain visible after sunset. Build 3 lantern towers at different heights and group them together. Avoid placing them in a perfectly straight line. A layered arrangement beside a step, patio corner, seating area, or pathway entrance will look more natural and professionally designed. During the day, the baskets work as simple outdoor sculptures. At night, They become warm lanterns that improve visibility without making the garden feel overly bright. The filling can also change with the seasons. Use pale stones or shells in summer, pine cones in autumn, and evergreen cuttings in winter. Because the basic structure remains the same, you can refresh the display without purchasing new decorations. One small group of glowing baskets can make a dark, forgotten corner feel welcoming, safe, and thoughtfully arranged. Yuk. Install a fold-down vertical potting station. Gardening tools can quickly overwhelm a small patio. Gloves, seed packets, labels, twine, hand trowels, and half-used containers often end up scattered across chairs, shelves, or the ground. A fold-down potting station keeps these items organized without taking away valuable floor space. Choose a sturdy fence, exterior wall, balcony wall, or the side of a garden shed. Mount a shallow wooden box, repurposed cabinet, or old cabinet door at a comfortable working height. When opened, the front becomes a temporary surface for planting, trimming, and preparing containers. When closed, it leaves the area clear and tidy. Inside, add several small hooks for hand tools. Install a narrow shelf for seed packets and plant labels. Then attach a rail for gloves. Small containers can hold clips, markers, and spare ties. A removable tray placed on the work surface will catch loose soil and make cleanup easier. When the task is finished, lift the tray, return the tools to their hooks, and fold the station closed. The outside can remain simple. Use a natural wood finish, a botanical stencil, a painted leaf shape, or a small seasonal wreath, so the closed station looks like part of the garden decor. For anyone who finds repeated bending uncomfortable, mount the surface high enough for standing work or low enough to use from a chair. This compact station turns a cluttered collection of supplies into one organized gardening corner. Everything remains easy to reach, yet the patio feels open again as soon as the work is complete. Chill. 7. Turn a muddy strip into a decorative dry creek. A narrow strip of mud beside a shed, pathway, downspout, or raised bed can make the entire backyard feel unfinished. Covering it with another planter may hide the problem for a while, but it does not improve drainage or create a safer walking surface. Begin by observing where rainwater naturally enters and leaves the area. Shape a shallow, gently curving channel that follows this direction and guides surface water away from frequently used spaces and the house foundation. Arrange stones in several sizes to imitate a natural stream. Place larger rocks along the outside curves, medium stones near the edges, and smaller pebbles through the center. Avoid making the channel perfectly straight. A soft curve looks more natural and helps the feature feel like part of the landscape, rather than a narrow gravel trench, where people may need to cross. Add a flat stepping stone, a weathered board, or a short wooden bridge. This creates a clear route while adding a simple decorative focal point. The dry creek can continue visually into a rain garden, a large planter, a collection basin, or a bed of moisture-tolerant plants. Keep the central channel open so water can still move through it. Once finished, the area will no longer look like a neglected drainage problem. The stones reduce slippery mud, define the edge of the garden, and create a more predictable walking surface. What was once the least attractive strip in the backyard now appears intentional, practical, and professionally planned. Pate. Build a natural branch arch and memory path. A small backyard can contain beautiful plants and still feel like one open, undefined space. A simple branch arch creates a clear entrance, while a short memory path gives the garden a meaningful destination. Use long, flexible branches, bamboo poles, or lightweight garden stakes to form the arch. Secure both sides firmly in the ground. If permanent installation is not possible, place the supports inside two large, stable planters. Weave smaller twigs horizontally between the main supports. This strengthens the structure and creates natural places for climbing plants to hold. Choose lightweight vines suited to your local climate, such as sweet peas, clematis, black-eyed Susan vine, or flowering beans. As the plants grow, the arch will become softer and more connected to the surrounding garden. Beneath it, create a short path leading toward a chair, herb garden, bird feeder, favorite tree, or quiet corner. Decorate simple stepping stones with smooth pebbles, broken outdoor tiles, shells, ceramic fragments, leaf impressions, or small mosaic patterns. Each stone can represent a family member, season, journey, or special memory. Children or grandchildren can design one piece each, turning the project into a shared family story. For a rented home, place the decorated stones inside shallow portable trays rather than fixing them permanently into the ground. Add only a few solar lights beneath the arch. The lighting should gently reveal the branches and pathway without overwhelming the natural design. Walking beneath the finished arch creates a feeling of arrival. It divides the yard into smaller visual zones, makes the garden appear longer, and turns an ordinary path into something deeply personal. Conclusion: small spaces, natural materials, lasting beauty. A beautiful backyard is not created by buying everything at once. It grows slowly, through a series of thoughtful choices that make the space easier, safer, and more enjoyable to use. A woven privacy screen can protect a quiet chair. An old frame can become living artwork. Faux stone troughs can add age and character without the weight of real stone. A cracked terracotta pot can become the center of a flower display. Solar basket lanterns can improve visibility after sunset. A fold-down potting station can organize tools without taking over the patio. A dry creek can turn a muddy strip into a practical landscape feature. And a branch arch with a memory path can give even the smallest yard a sense of destination and meaning. You do not need to complete all 8 projects. Start with the problem that bothers you most. Perhaps your patio feels exposed. Maybe your tools are scattered. One corner stays dark. Or a blank fence makes the garden feel unfinished. Look carefully at the materials you already have. A basket, frame, branch, stone, cabinet door, or damaged pot may already contain the beginning of your next project. Work at a comfortable pace. Complete one small section at a time, prepare materials at table height, and ask for help when lifting larger pieces. Now tell us in the comments, which project would you try first? And what forgotten object or unused corner would you like to transform? Subscribe to Dream Room and turn on notifications for more practical decorating, organizing, and garden ideas for small homes, natural materials, and modest budgets. Remember, your backyard does not need to be large or perfect. It only needs one thoughtful idea to begin feeling completely your own.